Hello, everyone. Today is the 27th of November, and we will be having a look at some of the observations from some of the key stocks from last week that are on the watch list. And right now I'm looking at the stock of Pilbara. So there has been an interesting development in the stock of Pilbara, especially on the Friday, the 25th of November, 2022. Now, this is what you're seeing on the screen is the daily chart of Pilbara, and what you will see is after being below the 20-day moving average, sometime around in July, the stock started taking an up move, and since then it has been in a good uptrend. Right? Since this has been in a good uptrend somewhere till the end of September, after which it kind of hit a upper limit which was at around 5.142, and then it took a deep dive. Good thing is it did not breach the lower limit, which was around this area, which we will call as a good supporting point, which is at around 4.35ish. So one support will say as 4.35. Another support. Now, after going into this little bit of a down, we can see that it did try to like chart it up again. The resistance that it had hit at around 5.42, it went above that, and then it hit another top level, an upper limit there, right? So there was one resistance that we saw at 5.4, 5.14, and another resistance, a major one resistance that we saw at around 5.61. And this resistance which we see at 5.61, we can see that during the course from the start of October, if I take this as a bracket in here, like a rectangle here, we can see that the stock has been trending in this rectangle so far. So sometime in the first week of October, it did try to breach it. Again, it did try to come near this resistance again. Second time it breached it again. It tried to come near a third time here, but since then it has been in a downtrend. Since it has been in a downtrend, like in a correction, I would say. And what we see here is that one was this resistance that we called out 5.142. It did. Now there's another support. I would say the green line that you see here, this green line is at around 4.8. So that's another support that it has. So this is the one support. This is the second support. So the second support is at around 4.8 level. And once it hit that 4.8 level, or it has for that 4.8, this support too, you can see it did try. This is the support level where it got a good support here. Again, here once more. Again, we can see it did try to come down, but it closed above this support level. And it has been around this support level a couple of times. Only when it crossed this support level on the 24th of November and opened below this, we see a sharp downtrend here, a sharp correction here. So this is for especially for the stock, the trend on the 25th. We will look at it more closely as well. But what you can see here is it's got a good. It had a good support at S2, which is at 4.8, and another support it has the second level support is at around 4.35, where it did come very close on Friday, but point to note is that it did not breach that. And when we look at the granular chart in a 15-minute chart or a 5-minute chart for Friday, we will see how it has behaved when it came near that point, and whether it can be looked as an entry point around this time. But what we can see here is that on a daily chart it had been above the 20-day moving average, but since the time that it breached this, since it's in the time that it did not go past this, went below this resistance and did not go above that, it has been below the 20-day moving average. So that's a point to note. So good thing is we have a support level at 4.35, the second support at 4.8. We also have resistance at 5.14 and another resistance at 5.618. So now what we'll see is we'll go a little bit in a granular detail on what transpired on Friday. So now we are looking at the 15-minute chart for Pilbara, and this is from around the 23rd of November till the 25th of November. And particularly, I have taken this range just to kind of highlight on how the stock has behaved in the last 2 days, which is on the 23rd and 24th and the 25th, which is Thursday and Friday. So this is around the 24th, which we see around this time, and this is 25th, which we see around this time. So what we see here is that the stock has been above the 20-day 20 like period moving average from here, and it breached this level, went below this, and there you can see it consolidated on the 24th for quite some time, and then in the 15-minute range it had a sharp dip, and then it nearly came around the support level that we have at 4.8 and just hovered there for quite some time, which shows it's not able to go past that. There seems to be a lot of selling pressure in here, and that selling pressure we can see on the 24th itself around this time, that it breached this strong support area. It breached that strong support area around this time and closed below that support. So when it had closed below that support, it's a warning sign for us. The next day when it opened, um, after just opening, it took a little bit of a high in here, but since then it's the first in the first 15 minutes as well, it had got a sharp dip here, right? It has got a sharp dip here. Lot of now, if you see the volume as well, the volume has been in this range, in the 15-minute range, and suddenly you can see the volume going up and up, right, peaking at this level, which we will just see in a while. But after it had breached that support, we know that it's all hell break loose, and the stock has since that, on the Friday it was on a continuous downtrend, try to take some support at this level, but could not handle it, could not go beyond the immediate the red candle there, and again took a sharp dip. Now, what's very interesting here and point to note here is that when this long red candle came in, you can see this huge spike of a volume in that 15 minute. This is a 15 minute of a window in which you can see more than 5 million shares that has been traded in that time. Now, always make it always remember that a transaction happens. For a transaction to happen, there has to be a seller and there has to be a buyer. The sellers are the ones who are no longer seeing any interest in the stock at the time, and when you see a huge volume like that, it kind of validates that there's a huge buyer interest. There's a huge chunk of buyers who are really seeing this as a very good support, and they're supporting this level. So uh, again, on the same day, it went again a little bit up after taking that strong support. Did not handle that quite much, still did not pass this upper level, and again went into a downward spiral. But point to note is that it did not cross or close below this support which it had found at this level when there was a huge buyer interest that was seen. So that big buyer interest has kind of held the support at this level, and after testing this support once more at this level, it started trending back again up. Now this will be an interesting point. It closed again at a higher volume than all this time that it has seen. It had again closed at a higher volume. What would be what would be a point to note and just to be on the watch list next week is how does the stock behave beyond this point. Um, we would really it would be the probability from here is, because it has already taken a good support, the probability is more that it would try to go above the 20 period moving average, and if it crosses this level which is at around 4.6, if it can cross or it can open above that level, or it can cross below above that level, then it would mean that it has an very initial resistance that it has crossed, and it can then try to go above at around 4.8, which would be the strong support that he had for quite some time. It would be, but if the lesser probability, but it can also happen, is that if it does not go up, instead it goes down and it breaches this support that we have at 4.35. Now if it goes below 4.35, then it's going to see a very sharp decline again. So this would be an interesting stock to watch out next week, with a more of a probability that I can see of it going upside, and it would be a good candidate if it crosses the 20 moving average, holds above that, and crosses this immediate resistance of 4.6 that it has. If it goes beyond that, and if it sustains above that, then it would have another next target of at around 4.8, which will now act as an immediate second level resistance, because it had been a good support at the time, but now it will act as a resistance. But if it crosses above that, then that's another level that we'll be watching out for. So that's all for Pilbara for this week. I hope you like the analysis. If you do like, then please do like the video, and happy trading. Thanks.